Today is the 25th of March 2024, and this will be our 13th video on trigonometry. Okay, before I begin, thank you everyone who has subscribed to my platform. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, and thank you to the new subscriber. Well, very much appreciated. Thank you. If you haven't considered it already, okay, and if you like our platform, can you consider subscribing? And when you watch the video, share, okay, like, and on other platform, follow us as well. I'll really appreciate that. And please, if the account is still yours, don't use somebody else or mishandle somebody's account. Okay, ask permission before you use it to subscribe, or ask somebody to help you open your own account. You can follow the rules, follow what it says and subscribe. Or if you don't get it, ask somebody to help you subscribe and open your own account. That way, when we upload, you get your notification and then you can continue watching. In the comment section, you always see, please follow my notes/script, okay? Because as I always explain, this is math. There are times you want to say 0.0045 and then you end up saying 0045, okay? It's still points. Add the points, okay? Follow the notes. Don't just listen and be doing something. This is not a film, okay? So follow the notes. The notes are there to help you see how the questions are being solved, okay? So please follow the notes. Beware of scammers, okay, please. I don't have a charity. I don't have an orphanage, okay? If I want to say something to you about finances, I'll say it in the video. But I'm not doing that on this platform, and I won't do that. So please, beware of scammers. If somebody enter your inbox and asking you to donate money for this platform or to go and do some charity work somewhere, it's not me. Please don't fall for it. Recap. Okay, we've been doing trigonometry and this will be our 13th video. So we've done a lot. Okay, I've shown you how to use the formulas for the level you are working out, okay, and then working at, and I've done some interesting questions, proof questions, use Pythagoras to solve. Okay, sometimes use Pythagoras and using the right function, and then we realize that using the right function is very important. Okay, so like if you're adding, you don't go and use subtraction. So if you have to use sine or cosine or tangent, it is for you to determine, because if you are using sine for tangent, then you are going to get the answer wrong, even though you've use the right figures, okay? the starter for today, because I still have a bit more things to show you, I thought I'll just bring some questions. So in the starter, I started with some questions from warm up, and then we'll finish with more questions. Okay, so our starter for today, this is a rectangle. It has a diagonal BD. The rectangle is ABCD. Okay, now AD is 75, so BC will be 75. Okay, I had to do all this. Okay, AB is 160, so DC will be 160. Now you are being asked to find the DB, that is the diagonal or the hypotenuse. Because you don't have any angle here, okay, we will use Pythagoras, okay, which we've used a lot of times. So the longer part, which is BD, will be equal to 160. So BD all squared will be equal to 160 meters all squared plus 75 meters all squared. Immediately you can set that in motion, then you can find BD. Okay, so you set your equation in motion. So BD will be 160 all squared plus 75 all squared. Now 160 all squared on the calculator will be 25,600 plus 75 all squared will be 5625. Okay, now if you add them together, you are going to get 31,225. So now BD will be the square root plus or minus the square root of 31,225. If you do that correctly on the calculator, okay, if you have this figure, just press the square root sign. You get plus or minus 176.7. Now BD is length, so you are going to ignore the minus. So BD now is 176.7 meters, because the unit is in meters. This is to one decimal place. To the nearest whole number is 177 meters. So I've come here and put 177 meters here. Okay. Now calculate the angle ADB. So this angle here, okay, so I'm going to show you something quickly. So ADB, normally D, the middle alphabet, is where the angle is at. So this is the angle you want. Okay, if they say angle ABD, then that will be the angle, because the middle angle is what you want. They will either tell you the angle at B, but the angle at B is 2, so they have to say ADB, then you know it's this angle. But and if they say BDC, then it's the angle. Okay, if they say DBC, then it will be the angle here. The angle is normally at the middle. Okay, so you follow the sign. So ADB will be the angle here. Okay, so the second part, you are going to find this angle here, this angle here. Okay, now we know we found the hypotenuse, which is the diagonal. Okay, so let's see what we know now. So calculate the angle ADB. So the tan of ADB is 160 divided by 75. So you can use tan. So this angle here, okay, is opposite. So we are using TOA, opposite over adjacent. Okay, but since we found ADB, we can also say sine of this angle will be opposite over hypotenuse, because we know the hypotenuse now. We'll still get the answer. Or we can say cosine of this angle is 75 divided by the hypotenuse, which is k. Okay, but I went with tan. Okay, assuming you knew this, then you can. Okay, so I'm using opposite over adjacent. So the tan of the angle at D here is opposite over adjacent. Now, when you divide 160 by 75, you get 2.1333. So the angle ADB will be tan inverse of 2.1333, which will give you 64.89. Angle, so I would rather leave it at 1 decimal place or the nearest whole number, or I'll look at the question what it says. So angle ADB is either 64.9 degrees, okay, or 65 degrees. Okay, be mindful of these things, because you can finish and say 64 meters. Okay, because trig, you have the angle, you have the length, you have a lot of things. So if it's length, you go by the units: meters, centimeters, millimeters. If it's angle, it will always be in degrees. Okay, not in degrees as in temperature, but degrees as in angle. So be mindful of that. Today we are going to look at more trig questions. Okay, so the first example says find BC. That is BC here. Okay, we know the angle and then we know the diagonal. BC is opposite to this angle, so straight away I'm going to use sine. So because I know I'm finding opposite and I know the hypotenuse. Okay, so the opposite is BC, the hypotenuse is 32, will give me the sine of 20. Okay, so I've used the right function and I've set the equation in motion. So now from here it gets manipulation and get BC. So BC now will be 32 sine 20. So 32 sine 20. Sine 20 will be 0.3420. Okay, so which is 1094. Okay, that will be the length here, BC, which we are supposed to find, this length here. Okay, now so BC will be 10.94 meters. So that is to 2 decimal place, or to 1 decimal place will be 10.9 meters, or to the nearest whole number will be 11. If they've not restricted you, you can leave your answer 10.94 meters, 10.9 meters, or 11 meters. Okay, whichever one you choose, they'll also give you the answer. They'll also mark you right. Now 3. Okay, now we have two similar triangles. So two similar triangles means the angles are the same. They are right angle triangles, so that is 90 at C and that is 90 at R. The question says they are similar. Okay, and we've done a similar question before. Okay, so what it means is what I've just told you. The angle will be the same, but maybe if that side is 1 and that side is 2, then its increment by is doubled. Okay, so we can use that to find the other side. So show y sine x. Where is sine x? That one here. Okay, this is the angle x. Show y sine x is 4/5. Now you can straight away go and use this angle here, because this sine x here, this sine angle here will be the same as this sine angle. Okay, so you can do opposite on this angle, 3.2 over the hypotenuse, 4.4, and you should get 0.8. Okay, but what I did was, okay, I knew only this figure here for this triangle. Okay, so to find the proportion, I found the proportion. So 4.8 divided by 3.2 to know the proportion the angles are, because they are similar. Okay, now so CA here, okay, will be equivalent to PR if they are similar. So what I did was 4.8 divided by 3.2, this one here, and I got 1.5. So they are similar in a ratio of 1.5. Okay, so I use that ratio to find multiply by 4 to know that this is 6. This angle, this length here, PQ is 6, because I wasn't given that. So immediately I found the 1.5. I said AB, this length here, AB, okay, times 1.5, which I found here, okay, will be equal to this length here, the hypotenuse of the second similar angle. Okay, so I realized that PQ, this angle, this length here, not angle please, this length here will be 6 meters. Okay, so what did I do? Sine of x will be equal to opposite 4.8 divided by 6, okay, which I've set in motion here. So if you do that, I move the decimal place, I get 48 divided by 60. Now 12 goes into 48 4 times there, and 12 goes into 60 5 times, which is 4/5 or 0.8. So what it means is this sine x, it says show y sine x is 0.8 or 4.5, which I have just done here. Okay, now what I said earlier, okay, instead of using this similar thing to find this length before I find sine, I could use this angle, this triangle here, to find this angle, and this angle at B will be the same as the angle at P. Okay, so I could say sine of x here, which is the same as this, will be equal to 3.2 over 4 centimeters, which I've done on the side. So that will give me 32 over 40 if I move the decimal place and add 0 to the denominator. So if I divide by 8, 32 by 8 is 4, 40 by 8 is 5. So sine x will be equal to 4 over 5, or 0.8. Okay, so you could do that, or just find the hypotenuse. Okay, so since we've found the hypotenuse, the second part of the equation is telling us find PQ, which we've already found using the smaller triangle in the first bit, that is PQ here. Okay, so we use similar angles. So we divided 4.8 by 3.2. Okay, that is 1.5. So that's what we did. Okay, so we've done that. So we've already found the ratio, which we did on the first part, because that is the B part of the question, to find PR. Okay, now find RQ, that one here. Okay, so RQ, now we know the angle, so we can say that, and we know the hypotenuse. Okay, and then we found PR, so we can say the tan of 4 over this is sine, we found it in sine. Okay, so we can say the sine of x, which we found earlier, 0.8, will be equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, which I found it to be longer, or we will just use Pythagoras again. So 6 centimeters, 6 meters all squared, will be equal to 4.8 all squared, plus RQ all squared. Okay, so that was what I did here. I used Pythagoras again. Okay, so RQ all squared, which we are finding, is 6.0 all squared minus 4.8 all squared. 6.0 all squared is 36. 4.8 all squared is 23.04. If you subtract, you are going to get 12.96, which is RQ all squared. So RQ will be plus or minus the square root of 12.96. Okay, now if you've put 12.96 and you click the square root, you are going to get 3.6. Okay, now we choose length because it is, we choose positive because it's length. Okay, so 3.6 meters to 1 decimal place, or 4 meters to the nearest whole number. Okay, So this is what I came to share with you today. Okay, I'd rather stop here because if I want to do another question, it will go beyond our 30 minutes. And at the moment, I'm really mindful, especially those who are revising, not to make the video too long so that you can go away and watch it and then think about it. If you don't understand, you copy the question out, okay, and then you try solving it yourself. Sit on a table, okay, and on a chair, solve it out. If you can't understand and you get stuck, stop, watch the video again and come back. Don't just watch and go and lie down, okay, because you want to learn it properly. I've always said to you, go for quality. So if you do good quality learning, you might not know a lot, but what you know, you've learned it properly. So if it comes in the exam, then you can solve it properly and get your full marks. But even if you do quality learning over a period of from now to say you do your exam, you would have learned a lot. So at least you would have learned more than 10 topics properly, okay, so that if any of them come, you see the question like, no, I've seen this before, and then you'll be able to attempt it and do it. All you need to do is to read the question and see what they're asking you. Maybe the question you solved, they said leave your answer to the nearest whole number or the nearest degree of accuracy, and then maybe you've seen another question, the same thing, but this time around they'll say leave your answer to two significant figures. So you can solve to the end and leave your answer to two significant figures, which we did in the beginning. So by now you should understand those things, okay? Thank you so much, okay? Please subscribe, share, like, follow, okay? Just follow my no script, okay? And beware of scammers. Take care of yourself online, okay? Thank you so much for watching today's video with me, and I'll see you in the next.